Welcome back to Vagabond, Gypsy, Tarot, and Oracle. This reading is going to be for the last week in November and the first week in December. So it's going to be a transitional reading from November to December, and it's going to be giving you an energy reading of what kind of energy is around you for this 2-week period. I kind of feel like it goes from November dark and shadowy to December light, crispy, airy, snowy, crystally vibes, if that makes any sense to you. So this is for Saturday, November 25th through Saturday, December 9th. Yeah, so it's actually like a two-week period. So anyways, we have pile 1, crystal points with mica, gold mica right there. Pile 1. Pile 2, selenite. And pile 3, ocean jasper palmstone. So go ahead and take a look at these piles and see which one resonates with you, and I will see you back at pile 1. Hello, pile 1. We are here for your reading here. I'm going to put your stone on this little table thing I have. This is a reminder that you can go back and take the shadow work classes online for free. They're just on my page, November 4th, 11th, and 18th. It's just a pick a card reading, but it's also a little discussion on shadow work and how we can work with our own shadows this time of the year. So let's see what we've got for cards here. We've got Quicksilver, and I'm going to have to use the deck or use the book for this. And then we have the Storm. And then we have Seven of Cups, Ace of Swords, and we have the Empress. See if I can get all these in here so you can see them well. There we go. That looks good. Okay, so I am going to start with the Storm. I am using 3 decks from Kim Krans this week. I'm so excited about how nicely this worked out for my shadow work readings, that I just really thought that it would be nice to do the final week in November and the first week in December with the same artist. I did pull out 2 extra decks, which I love, and I just got the new one, so I'm excited about that. So the Storm, the energy this week for you is the next 2 weeks is going through the storm, the disorder, the whirlwind, getting through the tough times that have been lagging on your mind. It says processing an energy much like the Tarot's Tower card. So yes, it is. It's completely tearing something down to rebuild it. The Storm undoes all that is. Everything that was solid, known, and relied upon is stripped away by the winds of fate. The ground becomes the sky becomes the center, and the center disappears. The Storm is a great equalizer. No matter how far we've come on the path, no matter our age, wealth, or wisdom, we can't hide from its savage winds. The disturbing howls stir anxiety and make it impossible to see and think straight. You must wait it out. If you try to fight the storm, you will lose. A better option is to seek temporary shelter and a reliable friend. When all else fails, go within. There for a moment you settle into the eye of the storm. So yes, definitely, you are trying to process something that you've tried to work through, and it possibly has been with your shadow work this season. And the Empress is about building something new. Now let's go ahead and look at the Quicksilver card in this new deck. Now this is the first time I'm using it, so let's see here. I kind of looked through the cards, but I haven't 24, I think. Let's see. Yes. Oh, look at me. My Roman numerals. Okay, I got that right. I can't believe it. Anyways, 138. Let's see, is the page. Okay, so it says Quicksilver is slippery, mobile, Mercury. So it's associated with Mercury. It is a mesmerizing material. Its gift is to slip between the worlds, and it cannot be pinned down or easily defined. Mercury came to symbolize God Hermes and the great hermetic secrets of alchemy, always sliding away into secrecy, just beyond the alchemist's grasp. It is said Mercury represents the transition between the physical and the unseen world, between life and death, between science and esoteric. It is the metal of sacred thresholds. Shamanic practitioners of every tradition must acquire the ability to stand at the doorway between the worlds. This is no small feat. The Mercury card indicates the querent has a particular gift for such a task. This is the work of the shaman, teacher, sage, artist, and alchemist. Heed the call of Quicksilver. This sacred threshold requires your attendance. So basically, the storm that you are dealing with, the upheaval, the change that's going on in your life, is requiring you to be able to have that flexibility, to be able to move in and out easily of different situations. And so that fits the storm card quite easily, but it's also saying that the querent, which is you, if you pick this card, is well able to handle such a task. And the Empress card is the card of abundance and creation, so you're ready to create something new. And the Ace of Swords is about reason, and you've got good reason behind you as well. You're a good reasoner. You think things through, new ideas. You're good with conflict, and you have a lot of mental clarity that can help you through these situations. So I feel like with that Mercury card, this Quicksilver and Mercury connection, I feel like you are well prepared for this storm, this Tower moment. And the Tower, and she compared this to the Tower card, which is generally for unwanted change and upheaval, but this is change that might be unwanted but necessary. And I don't know if you want to take a look at the shadow work class. Maybe it's something that if you didn't, you look at it and you say, wow, yeah, you're right, I was dealing with that over the last thinking about that over the last month, and now it's time for me to deal with it in these first 2 weeks of well, this last week in November and first week in December. So the Eight of Cups is about retreating, moving away, moving on. And that's also very, very much associated with the. It connects well with this card reading. I mean, this draw, and the 8 is about taking action, and the 24 breaks down to 6, which is about healing, harmony, being able to move between situations. And the Ace of Cups is about new opportunities, beginning, potential. Creation is, like I said, the Empress. 3, about expression, growth, moving forward. I am going to, now I don't remember my Roman numeral. I just got lucky with that Roman numeral. Let me see here if I can find what that Roman numeral is. I think it's in the 30s, but let me look here. XLV 15 27, I want to say. Let me look and see here if that's right. Sorry, I should have looked before. No, it's not. Let's see here. The storm is 47. So that breaks down to 11, which is 2, which is about harmony. So the storm is breaking down everything that you saw as normal, and everything is being restructured into something new to straighten things out, if that makes any sense. I feel like it's unwanted change, but it's necessary change that you wouldn't have done without this happening. And the 8 of Cups is about emotions, so we've got some great emotions going on here as well over this situation. You're weary to move on, but there's deeper meaning to what's going to happen. Everything's going to be like I said, it's unwanted change, but it's necessary change, and it will, in the long run, supposedly be the best thing for you. You probably wouldn't have changed. It's probably a situation where you wouldn't have changed without this happening. But as I said, the strength behind your being, you're able to work through those tough times. And actually, with this card here, they were saying the querent, which is you, if you pick this card, has that power to go easily move between situations, even if they are chaotic. Ace of Swords. So again, aces are about potential. It's always the beginning. And the Ace of Swords is about reason. So it's about clarity. You're cutting through the confusion and the crap to see things clearly. And that will happen because of the storm, the tower moment. It's almost as if once this tower moment happens, the light bulb will go on and you'll be like, ah, I see why this happened. You probably wouldn't have chosen to make the change on your own, but because of what happens, it just happens. The situation unfolds on its own without you instigating it. And that's probably the only way that it would have happened anyway. So my friends, I think that is about it for pile 1. Why don't you stick around and see what we've got going on for pile 2 if you care. Otherwise, we will see you at the next reading that you care to join in on. If you have not seen my weekly readings for the day of the week that you were born, you can just calculate that with the day, month, and year of the year you were born on your web browser, and it will come up with the day of the week that you were born on, and you can join me at that weekly energy reading. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I hope this is a good welcoming into December. It seems chaotic, but not. So have a blessed week. Welcome back, pile 2, for your reading. I'm going to place your selenite wand on my little stand there, and I'm going to read out of the books for these first 2 cards because I just got these. That is the Despicable Face. Now, I just glanced at these cards, so I'm not too sure what that means. And then we have the Mother. And I decided to use Kim Krans decks here, for 3 of them. I've got the High Priestess. Loving that one. Then we've got the Two of Swords. And I was like, where's the other card? I know there was another one. I just found it here. It was set aside. Okay, and then here's the other one. 3 of Pentacles. I was going to say, I know I'm missing a card here. When I picked it up, I missed that one. Okay. So, High Priestess is about intuition. A mother's intuition, a mother's love. Excuse me. 3 of Pentacles. 3 of Pentacles is about sharing your information. It's about, this card in particular is about your craftsmanship, sharing your abilities with others. Pentacles is your earthly environment. We have the 2 of Swords, which is about reason. Balancing act. Having choices to make. Let's go ahead and read the cards out of the book here, and then we'll do our numerology as well. So the Despicable Face, and I'm going to have to look this up in the book. And I'm really loving this book here. Let's see here. The Despicable Face, 48. Okay. So that's on page 185. Let's see. Okay, so what is hidden, unaccepted, shamed? And see, we've got, like, I was trying to look at this as I was flipping through the book. There's like different eyes. These appear to be eyes. The Despicable Face. Like there's no face. All you see there is eyes. Let's read this and see what it says. The Despicable Face is never seen. Rather, it is kept in hiding to save outward appearances. This card appears when something below the surface wants to be witnessed in order to be transformed. Everyone has their own version of the despicable face and their own reasons for assuming it is an abomination. It could be buried resentment or insecurity or physical characteristics that hold you back from expressing our true self. Remarkably, once revealed, it is not despicable at all. It is human. It is interesting. What one thought was an error becomes an asset on our journey of alchemical transformation. This card connects us to others and to humanity as a whole. Through acceptance, we lift the veil of perfection and reclaim our energy. Honesty and acceptance are the balm that heals the most tender wounds. Wow. That's sad. Sad, but empowering, let's say. And then let me grab the other book. See, I need to put things in place here. I'm all over the place. Okay, so the mother. So let me go ahead and read this one. And I like to read out of the book because I want to make sure that I get her verbiage properly. These books are really nice books, and she explains her theories quite well. The Great Mother, the Feminine, the Source. It's card number 1, which is the beginning. We begin our archetypal story with the mother's love. Though her sensual, fertile, and life-giving energy, all creation takes form. Through her sensual, fertile, and life-giving energy, all creation takes form. Regardless of our birth story, each of our hearts beat for the first time in the warm womb of the mother, where she offered resources from her body for the building of our own. Yet her tale is not so simple. As a mother, especially on the earthly plane, contains both light and dark aspects of the feminine. With the best of intentions, the mother wraps her loving arms around her creation and begins to grip what she meant to set free. The mother both nurtures and prohibits growth. She gives, yet clings. She creates, yet restricts. Amid this complex energy, the mother holds the key to the eternal challenge of love. So, I like this, what she writes here. She wrote, "Notice how the mother archetype is expressed in nature. This is perhaps the most balanced and benevolent form of the mother's grace." So, thinking of those words, I'm thinking of how if you look in nature like animals, mothers are there like the mama bear to protect and save her children, but yet animals let go, and so do mothers on the earthly realm as well. But it's an interesting comparison anyways, I think. And so putting this together, I think the High Priestess card here, one of my favorites, is about secrets, mystery, intuition, and trusting yourself. So I feel like the energy this week is of new beginnings, balance, trusting yourself. We got 2, and then we've got working together with other people. And then we've got 48, which ends up being 12, which ends up being 3. So we have 2 3s. I feel like the energy this week is of you breaking free from the so-called mother's grip. I want to say that it's almost as if you're afraid to go out and try something new on your own. And actually, I shouldn't say mother's grip, but mother's eye, mother's teachings or somebody's teachings, I feel like you have not yet been able to express yourself and share what uniqueness you have to the world, because you're afraid of failure, or thinking people will thinking you're odd, like this card was saying that it could have to do with physical features, physical qualities, anything about the physical you that you're afraid that people will not take you seriously, or just not take you seriously. But with this despicable card again, I'm gonna look at it again. It says everyone has their own version of despicable face, and their own reasons for assuming it is an abomination. It could be buried resentment, or insecurity, or physical characteristics that hold us back from expressing our true selves. Expressing our true selves. This card is a card about expressing your true self and showing people what you're made of. This is probably referring to, in this particular reading, not so much a physical characteristic that's holding you back, but insecurity of going out on your own from what you were taught. It's like the first time ever that you're going out and going to show people what you're made of. But this High Priestess card, being the card of intuition and secrets, I think that it will push you forward. The High Priestess card will push you forward to not be fearful and move forward and show people who you truly are. Showing people your true self. Not, it's almost as like somebody just graduated from college, and this is my analogy anyway, and they've been learning and learning and learning, and now it's time for you to be the presenter and show what you've learned. So that's kind of where I've got the Mother card. This Mother energy has been there to help you all along the way. Now it's time for the Mother energy to let you off and let the bird fly away from the nest, and you prove what you're made of. And there's challenges. There's challenges here as well with the Two of Swords, because you have decisions to make. And you're a bit fearful, but you have to use your intuition, like this High Priestess card here. We've got 2 twos here. Balance, balance. Speaking your mind, new beginnings. Groups. Not being afraid to reveal who you truly are, and that you don't need the crutch of this energy to move forward in life. And usually when I'm looking at this card with this reading, I'm feeling like it's like self-imposed fear. It's almost as if you look at yourself with all of these eyes, and critiquing yourself from within. It's not that maybe nobody's really critiquing you like you are critiquing yourself. Like that old saying, we're our own worst enemy. That's kind of how I'm feeling with this card, with these other cards. Drinking my coffee again. But yeah, I really feel like this last week in November and the first week in December, there's going to be a epiphany. You're going to be able to move forward. And if you joined my shadow work class and you did that last month, which you can still go online and do it, it's free, it's just online with all my other videos. All it is taking a question and working with it through the week, and working with it with your being. It's a shadow work question, asking the question to yourself and deep diving into what makes you tick. And this card here would be a perfect card for a shadow work, because again, it's like we can be our own worst enemy. When I was in high school, we had to do a speech class, and I knew that we had to do a speech class. I was so fearful of this speech class and having to stand up in front of people, feeling like people were going to laugh at me and make fun of me when I was doing my speech, that it was devastating. I made so much more out of it than I needed to, but that's what I've done a lot in my younger years. And, you know, you learn your lesson as you go through life, and I still, you know, would have issues with standing up in front of a crowd. I mean, I even joined Toastmasters to help me through that. I thought I was going to like pee my pants the first speech I gave. I don't know what it is. It's like just this self-critical talk. And why? I can talk to a crowd just anywhere, like out in public. I can talk to anybody, but to actually stand up and be a presenter, that was scary to me. And honestly, it still is a bit, not so much now. I've gotten over it a little bit, but if I had to go to a building and stand at a podium in front of 100 or more people, I would probably feel like I was going to piss my pants. Still, I mean, I don't know what it is. I've heard artists, like rock singers and singers, country singers, whatever, all singers get stage fright. It's just like natural. And that's kind of what this card is here. But once you continue on and break through that and do present yourself and show your worth, it will be worth it. Needless to say, I ended up not going to Toastmasters very long, because after I did the first speech, it was like terrible. and they, I mean, it is, I'm not against Toastmasters. I would join it. I would suggest anybody join it, just for the information and just for doing it. It's worth it. It's just that I had a lot of other things on my plate that I didn't have the time to commit to it anymore. But I was glad I did the first one. After I got through it, I felt like a big achievement. You know, I felt like I needed a big award, and I was so proud of myself. But that's just that. It's a really good experience. I mean, and I would suggest it. You don't even have to be a person that does that type of thing, like stands up in front of a crowd. It's just a good thing to learn or take part in. Whether you really end up being a professional speaker or not, you at least give yourself some information and some good tips. Like one of the things they did was, it was called the ums and ahs. They counted, somebody counted how many ums and ahs you filled in. If you like were talking and you're like and I catch myself doing it still all the time, but when you get done with your speech, your like 5-minute speech, and you've had like 100 ums and ahs, then you realize that that's something that you should take note of when you're speaking, because it isn't, I mean, it doesn't matter what people think of you. You are who you are, but it does make a difference in how you are, how your speech goes across. And when you say and as fillers, they were called like the counter or the counter. But yeah, it's kind of funny when you realize that you've had like 90 fill in ums and ahs because of nervousness. It just is a fact. But once you notice it, and once somebody tells you, or even if you tape yourself talking through something, reading something at home, tape it and listen. Pretend like you're presenting something and see how many times you do that. It makes a difference. And it becomes quite annoying when you're aware of it. Like I notice it when people do it on TV. And it's like nails on a chalkboard, then you notice it. And you don't want, you don't want that same image for yourself. I mean, we all do it anyways. It's just natural, but you have to cut it down. Is what I'm going beyond this reading, but anyways, that's kind of how I'm getting the feeling is here, like you're a new bird ready to leave the nest and show what you are worthy of. So took that a little bit far beyond my scope here, but hey, it's true. Join Toastmasters if you're interested, because it's totally worth it. And it's fun. It is really fun to watch other people and take note of your own things that you can fix if you want. So anyways, I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and we will catch you on the next reading. Have a beautiful couple weeks. Welcome back, Pile 3. I just yammered on Pile 2's reading, so if you want to go see that, we were talking about Toastmasters, if you know what that is. Anyways, or I was talking about Toastmasters. There was no we. This is a video, but anyways, I'm going to go ahead and put your Ocean Jasper stone down, and then I'm going to go ahead and read out of the book for these. I'm using Kim Krans decks because I love them so much for the shadow work class I did. If you want to join, we have Vinegar, the Underworld. Ew, look at that. 8 of Pentacles, 3 of Swords, and the Magician. Okay. Let's see if I can get all these in here. So we've got, I think that's 34. Breaks down to 7. I'm going to pull the book out to read this. It's about taking control and reflection. Let's see here. Let me find this one. And let me see if I'm right with the number, if it's 34. So it's vinegar, and yes, it is 34. Okay, so acidity, distillation, memory. The tongue knows vinegar. Even the suggestion of receiving a few drops into the mouth reminds us of vinegar's sour and lip-puckering qualities. In alchemy, vinegar serves as an active agent of distillation, fermentation, and preservation. It is incredibly useful when applied in the right amounts and with intention. This said, it can be easily overused, overwhelming the situation at hand. When the vinegar card is present in a reading, it indicates a sour note permeates the laboratory. It is likely something from the past is showing up in the present and demanding our attention. It is vinegar's nature to take over, to overwhelm. Be cautious with this material. A little goes a long way. As they say, it is productive to look at your past, but not to stare. Such is complex energy of vinegar. I like that. So let's go ahead and pull up the underworld. Let's see what that one is. I want to try and guess, but I'm not going to. Let's see. 48. XL is 40. And then we've got 8 there. So the underworld. So it says the nightmare, the ordeal, the bottom. This is no time to mince words. The archetypal territory of the underworld is fraught with nightmares, suffering, and pain. It is the darkest shadow realm which we try vigilantly to avoid or deny at any cost. Try as we might, the darkness pulls us into its depths through the disturbing dream images, unexpected accidents, illness, war, conflict, and ultimately death. Not visiting the underworld or denying its existence altogether is what gives it dangerous power. Traversing its forces us to bow humbly to the greater forces that be, while summoning the inner strength we previously underestimated. Take solace that the underworld subsumes everyone from time to time, making us deeper friends, more intimate partners, soldiers of light amid our shadowy times. Facing darkness and choosing light is the most profound calling of all. So the vinegar and the underworld work really well together. The vinegar is saying that, you should access the past, which is, I'm considering, the underworld. When we make decisions in life, we often do have to look at the past to not remake the same mistakes. Welcome to the world today of remaking mistakes. Happens, it will happen till the end of time, if there is an end of time. It says the underworld, not visiting the underworld or denying its existence altogether is what gives it dangerous power. And that is very true as well. If you're not willing to look back and see what mistakes you have made, then you're more than likely going to make them again. It's just the way it is, and you may make it again anyway, and then look back and be like, oh, guess what? I did that again. But it's saying that you should not deny it completely. You do have to acknowledge the things that you've done in the past. So the 8 of Pentacles is the number of taking action, mastery, accomplishment, and the 8 of Pentacles is about our earthly environment. Mastering your craft, working diligently, and moving forward on the wheel of life. And that is what you're doing but it's also saying to take the time along the way to make sure that you don't make the same mistakes you've made in the past. Now, the Three of Swords is the suit of reason. So this is about heartache, a past heartache and choices that you've made that have caused things to fall apart, or you failed because of the past mistakes that you've made. And next to the Underworld card, that's a perfect spot for it to be. This is making sure that you take a look at the past, but don't delve in it, because that vinegar, like they said, it can be overpowering. It's okay to look back and say, see the things that you've done wrong, or that the things that you did that made things go wrong, and to help you move forward. Now, this Magician card is the card of focus, turning visions into reality. And the Magician has all the elements to work with. Sword, wand, cups, pentacles. The Magician is working with all of the elements. And that's what actually I think the vinegar and the Underworld card are forcing you to do, to open your eyes and work with everything, all the resources around you, the past, the present, and thinking about the future of the Eight of Pentacles. We've got the 34, which breaks down to 7, which is about taking control, reflecting on the past. Let me look at I think this was 48, the Underworld. Let me just make sure. And that's 12, breaking down to 3, which is about working together, working as a group. Let's see here. Let me just make sure. And not working necessarily as a physical. Yeah, 48. So that's 3. That breaks down to 3, which is about expression. You expressing yourself, and working with the aspects of what had happened in the past, how things went down on the past. It's not about just and when I say 3, working together, it's about working with the past, the present, to make the future. That's how I kind of see it. It's not necessarily working with 3 people to get to where you need to be. I feel like it's working with yourself and other aspects of what was good and what was bad. So it doesn't necessarily mean that you have to take it literally, the three of Swords, but it's about reason, using your mind, mind, body, spirit, if you want to look at it that way, to work through the bitter things that happened in the past, the negative, the things that didn't end up, your shadow. Could be your shadow. Now I bring up shadow again because this last week in November, going into the first week in December, I did have a shadow series in November 4th, 11th, and 18th. If you want to go back and watch those videos, they're free. It's just a shadow work little class that I did. Not really even a class, just a I brought about a question and having you look into yourself and working with the things that you don't like to be seen from the exterior of yourself, like your sun sign is visibly what people see. If you want to look at it as your moon sign, you could call it that. It's like what people don't see, the hidden. But very much so, if you want to go back and look at that, because that would definitely be working with the underworld and your shadow self. But the vinegar, I really like this. Vinegar is a stabilizer, a neutralizer. It brings attention. Like if you look at the stuff from the past that was negative, that didn't work out, that caused you issues, it's kind of the stabilizer to say, oh, I have to remember this is what I did last time and I don't want to do that again. That's kind of what I'm getting out of it. But you also have this magician energy here, which is beautiful because it's like showing you that you're in control of the situation. With all the elements, you are the one that can make this past heartache, past failure, past disaster not happen again. And with the 8, again, it's about taking action and moving forward and perfecting your abilities. This could definitely have to do with work, your potential wealth and your security. I feel like there's a lot of focus in your life right now. You've like got one vision and you're looking forward and you want to get that completed. And that's why I said that you have to take time along that way while you're doing this to pause and reflect on the past and reflect on what you want to watch out for. You are the magician. You are the one in control, and you are the one that has the final say, and you are the one that can make it go back to make negative things happen again. Although that can happen anyway, by looking at your past, not delving into it head first and like floating in it, because that's what it's saying with the vinegar. It's not saying overwhelm yourself. Be careful of that. Just taking note of the things that you don't want to do again. So that's kind of what that card is saying to me. So I hope that you enjoyed this reading. I have really enjoyed using the Kim Krans decks this shadow season, and I'm really looking forward to using them beyond because I love them. I didn't know if I connected very well with them, but through this fall season I have found they are perfect, and I do really like them. So I will put the names of the decks underneath this post. And I hope that you enjoyed this reading, and I hope you have a blessed 2 weeks here. Last week in November and first week in December. We will see you back again.